Jeff, you guys back on the practice field. I think you said you guys got back late Saturday night, Sunday morning. How was it? Any ill effects with the guys?
I told them I'd wait and watch the video and look at the Titan data. We did look a little tired to me, but I've been wrong on that before. And that's why you have the analytics, and that's why you film practice. So I'd rather wait till I watch practice. Sometimes I can talk myself into believing things when they're not true, just because we're playing a team that doesn't have as good a record, and we got UAB the week after. All those things that are pretty obvious, I can make my own self believe that we're not focused and locked in. I didn't see anything that really indicated that, just using my grumpy old coach and self for 32 years, but I'll check the video and the data and see.
Having some extra time to start to get into it, what are some things that jump out that you have to be aware of with Southern Miss?
Well, Frank Gore, to begin with, I was really impressed with him last year. If you study their defense, they're very good on defense. I think we allow 19 points per game. They give up 22 points per game. Their points they've been giving up have been off of turnovers on offense and special teams. So we know their defense is very, very good. Just another comparison, we gave up 23 points to UTEP. They gave up 26 points to UTEP. So that lets you know how stingy they've been on defense. So it's a little misleading when you look at their record, how good they are on defense. So Frank Gore and their defense, their return guys are good. They've returned a kick for a touchdown this year. And if you go watch the Alabama game, you can see how talented and how good they really are. They've had injuries at quarterback, which always hurts, and injuries at some key positions on their team that's not allowed them to get off to the start they want to as far as the wins and losses. But they've got a good football team.
We saw Zakari had another big game against UTEP, and he was able to get open on a lot of these slant patterns. Is there a reason that route was so open for him in this game?
Well, you can't take away everything. I mean, are you going to double him? If you're going to double him, we've got Cephas, we've got 88, we've got 3, and we've got 0. That's pretty tough, right? So what do? The deep ball is what they're scared of because he's so good at that. So you're going to outside leverage him now. Well, when you outside leverage him now, it gives you inside slant. So you just can't take away everything. And him and Frank and our staff are very good at communicating with each other. And Frank has control of the offense, so he can get us into what we need to get into. And we've got really good players. It works.
Have you seen that teams have taken to doubling him a lot this year? Is that going on more as the season progresses?
We've tried to move him around quite a bit just to prevent that from happening. Put him in the slot some, and empty sets, put him inside, because they have been clouding him to the boundary and even to the field some. So when that happens, we've got other things we do, and he understands that. And 88 loves it when they do that, and 2 loves it, and 3 and 0 love it. Even Gavin got in the game now. He had 2 or 3 catches the other night. Oscar had a big catch, and Leroy had a catch. So I don't know when the last time all of our tight ends caught balls in the same game.
I was going to ask you about the tight ends. I don't think we've seen as much of them in the passing game this season. What did it mean to get those guys involved this last game?
They're just so unselfish. They never even ask for it. They know for us to run the ball like we want to run it. They're huge in that. Leroy and Oscar and Gavin and Dan have been willing participants all year long. And I told y'all when I got hired how much I love tight ends, and we're going to use them. We probably are 12 personnel, 50% of the game, and that's unique in college football today.
I saw Brandon Brown and McDougal were the defensive players of the game. What did those 2 guys do to earn that?
It's a perfect lead-in to, our culture pill of the week is selfless, and those guys are both nose guards, so they draw a double team every single play, which allows other guys to make plays, right? But not only those guys were drawing double teams Saturday, they were making plays with the double teams, right? So they were steady. We had about 4 or 5 other guys that were really close, but we just kind of poking the bear a little bit, right? We didn't play up to our standard. Credit to UTEP. But our defensive guys, they don't like it when they don't get a turnover. And I expect they'll come out with their hair on fire Saturday.
I've never seen a nose guard get called for a hold on a run play. What happened on that play?
Yeah.
It seems Brandon Brown's been kind of emerging and playing more and more snaps as the year goes on. Is there anything that he's improved from week 1 to where we are now?
Just understanding of the defense. He's a really, really good human. He's very coachable. A lot of times those guys don't want to play nose guard because they know they're going to get the double teams there, and they want to play the fours because they're getting soloed by a tackle. Brandon never says a word about it. He goes in there and does that, which is why those guys are so unique. To be an odd front, which I love to be, you have to have that guy. And Coach Wright has done a fantastic job of recruiting that position. We're very deep there, and that's where our defense starts, right there at the point of attack. And those guys drawing doubles, and Brandon is very selfless, as is McDougal. And they've really been great ads for us, which has allowed us to put Bull at a 4 technique zone.
Well, what was the process like of recruiting Brandon, I guess, going back to when you were hired and then again second lap on the transfer?
He didn't choose us the first time. He wanted to go to the other school. And once he got there, he realized he had made a mistake and got in the portal and called us up, said, hey, y'all still take me? And we were glad to take him. And that happens quite a bit with our kids because, back then we weren't very sexy, right? We're getting sexier by the day. So a lot of kids are calling us back, and I'm like, are you in the portal? If you're not in the portal, I'm not talking to you. So that's the deal about that situation. That's how that went down.
Coach, I think a few weeks ago you had mentioned, we got a lot of momentum right now, and then you were saying in post-game after the UTEP game that we can't ignore the fact that we're 9-0. I was noticing this morning that and I'm not asking you a Vegas question, I never would do that, but you're favored by almost 5 touchdowns. Do you continue to have just these wow moments that, with all the good that's happened, and now in a conference game we're favored by 33?
Well, thanks for letting me know that, Vinny. I'm sure my kids will be knowing that as well. I just never look at it that way. I know I'm so boring for y'all, but I just don't. I'm nervous about, did they go to class? Did they show up for weights on time? Were they in the training room on time? Who all's here for the meeting? Were they looking at me with their eyes and their ears? Are they taking notes? We just have so many things going on in our day-to-day details. I just don't ever look up. So it's very fun to talk about. That's what makes everybody want to come to the game and talk about things, but we never get into that at all. We do address with our team, obviously, like I'm very just honest with my guys. I mean, I'm like, how are y'all feeling right now? This team's record is this, our record is this. We got UAB the week after this, home game. And every one of them were like, literally, I asked them, give me your thoughts. They're like, Coach, it's about the triangle. We're grading ourselves to that standard. We're going to hold ourselves to that standard, and we're not going to look up. And I trust my kids, and that's the lane we live in, Benny.
But I guess what I'm trying to get at is you faced most everything front forward. I mean, anything that's come your way, you've answered all those questions. And to me, it's just like it's another feather in the cap of how remarkable this run has been.
What's been remarkable to me is we played 21 games together, and they've showed up every game. That's remarkable. You can look at college football, you can look at pro football, you can look at almost any sport. The consistency there is just amazing about our kids. That's the part and I repeat, we've not played perfect for 21 games. There's a lot of those games the 8 hairs I have left on my head I want to pull out. But the last time we lost together, it was FAU, and that was one of the most frustrating games in my life. It was, I can remember like it was yesterday. It was muggy, rainy, muddy, and we were just, right? So that's a culture pillar violation looking back in the past. But, these kids have just been consistent. I know that's what you're saying too, and that's remarkable. And I'm just almost scared to speak on it because I don't want it to go away, right? And the only thing I know to do is just continue to press them and work and be great every day. And that's the only thing I know to do.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about the USTA tweet yesterday. How does it feel to, be a part of, all the tennis players around the world knowing who UTSA is, and just want to get your thoughts about that?
Well, at first I was like, I wonder if this is a very big deal. So I go to their account, and they have like 440,000 followers. So I'm like, I'm jumping all over this. We're partnering up. We're going to be a great doubles team. I'm ready to partner up with them, man. I don't know what position I'll play. I guess the net. I'm tall and slow, so that's where they'll have to go. My partners will have to be in the back going, I guess that's baseline to baseline. Is that right? There you go.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank y'all.